What is going on, everybody? My name is Rhys and I'm from Physiques by Rhys, doing my collaboration with Muscle Talks podcast. It's been a while, but I made sure that I'm getting it done. So today I'm going to go through my quad masterclass. I'm going to go through my two favorite exercises to grow massive quads, and let's go through it. So first exercise that we have here is some form of a machine variation of a squat, right? So I would much prefer to utilize some form of a machine variation, just because over barbells, right, we're going to be able to focus on maintaining really good form and technique, one. Two, making sure that we are controlling the movements on the lowering phase, which is called the eccentric phase. And ultimately, that is where we're going to be placing the most amount of stress, the most amount of tension on the muscle, aka the quads, and also getting the most gains out of the movement. So what we're going to do, we're going to make sure that we are placing our feet as low as we can on the platform, right? Which is going to ensure our knees are going to be driving over our toes, right? At least in line or over the toes, to make sure that we're getting the biggest stretch in both the quads and the glutes at the very bottom of the movement. And now the second thing that I really like to utilize, look, you don't have to use this. There's a lot of controversy, a lot of debates, whether or not to use a resistance band on this Cybex hack squat machine, right? I've used a lot of hack squat machines, and definitely I much prefer to use the resistance band on the machine, just because it provides a little bit of assistance, right, in the middle portion of the movement as we are pushing back up, but we are able to control the movement in a much more timely manner. So that's going to be my first exercise. All right, now bonus tip, and now this is only something that I've actually only started using after finishing competing recently in the last couple of weeks, is actually doing all of my lower body exercises, including the hack squat, barefoot, right? So this is going to really make sure that we are applying the tension evenly throughout our feet and making sure that we're not using any form of assistance through your shoes that you would be using, as it doesn't provide a flat surface on the platform. So bonus tip, try and do all of your lower body movements, including the hack squat, barefoot. All right, so now tip number two, or exercise number two, is now going to be leg extensions. You can't go wrong with the basics, but there are two things that I like to use right on this very, very simple exercise to get the most out of it. So number one is going to be, obviously we've got the hammer strength leg extension. It's not bad, right, but let's make it better. I actually like to add a light resistance band around the machine onto where obviously we're placing our ankles, which is basically going to make it a lot harder to reach the peak contraction and also challenge us to control it on the way down. So what does that mean? We can really use lighter weights, right? And it's going to really, really force us to get the biggest squeeze at the top and fight for it, but then as well apply more focus on controlling it on the way down. So that's going to be the first tip. And now the second tip is going for 20 to 30 reps, right? So even for myself, for the longest period of time, I always stick to the comfortable rep ranges of 8 to 12, maybe 15 being the highest. But scientific studies show that hypertrophy is best seen in rep ranges of lowest of 5, upwards of 30, right? So I've only started really doing this in the last couple of months, of really forcing myself, of going the higher rep ranges to really challenge myself and to really make sure that I push myself to that absolute limit and upwards and even beyond failure. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure that you check out my podcast with Muscle Talks. And until then, till the next.